Racing to Win, Hong Kong Racing's twice weekly preview show, and we are off to Sha Tin on Sunday afternoon for a 10-race program, a last-ditch effort for some of the horses in the later races to get into the 4-year-old Classic Series, which is only a couple of weeks away. Great to have your company here on the show this week. I'm Tom Wood, joined alongside by Paul Lally and Nick Child. And those later races, Nick, look pretty good. Few of the early races look particularly tough.
Yeah, very tough indeed, Tom. So it might just take a little bit of working out some of those earlier races, but the latter part of the card certainly strong, as Tom alludes to. And there's a few horses there looking to climb up the ratings as far as 4-year-old series contenders are concerned.
Yeah, it's basically the last hurrah for those sort of horses, Paul. But outside of that, there's a lot of money up for grabs through jackpots on Sunday.
Yeah, jackpots galore on Sunday with the 24 million up for grabs. We're expecting that to get up to the triple trio. Also a really good jackpot for the fourth double trio. Of course, we've got 5 double trios now. That's 200,000 and 10.5 million going into the 6-up win bonus as well. So some really good jackpots. Not easy though, especially those last few races. Those first two, gee, they're almost impossible, aren't they?
They are Class 5, really tough races, those early races. And yes, Paul reminding you that there are 5 double trios at the Sha Tin programs with the 10 races. So let's have a look at a withdrawal coming up for one of the earlier races. Midway through the card it is. Race 5, number 2, Millennium Falcon, has come out, and unpresuming a newcomer for John Size gets in with Alexi Bedell on board. So that is horse 2 in race number 5. We can have a look at the details for Sha Tin on Sunday afternoon. Might be a little bit cooler out at the track as well. A cold snap coming through. 10 races. We're on the A course. It is meeting 36 of 88. And the 2 races we're previewing here on the extended version of Racing to Win are Race 8, Class 3, 1,600 metres, and the Yun Long Handicap Race 10, which is Class 2 over 1,400 metres. Race number 8 for horses with a rating of 80 through 60. We've got here over the mile, Eremo for Hugh Bowman, drawn barrier 13. City Blanche in the race as well. Straight Aaron, who was disappointing on debut. Voyage Bubble, a recent trial winner, and was impressive in that also. Never Too Soon, Capital Legend goes from 12 to 1,600 metres. Secret Vision to Souza off a 4-timer on Wednesday night. Golden Empire comes into the field with Ruin Meyer, barrier 5. Have a Nagila gets the services of Zach Purton. Young Brilliant is on debut out of the Dinnership barn. You've got Happy Together, who's drawn a better gate this time round. Imperial McGee and also Happy Day. We can have a look at the speed map for this 8th race on the program. Over the mile, and Nick, as they jump from the start, Voyage Bubble, he led up in a recent trial. He looked very strong there. Is he likely to find the front again? I
think he can, Tom, for sure. Look, he's a strong, powerful going type of horse as well. And even though he's drawn 10, he'll have to come across a bit, but it looks a distinct possibility given what we saw in that recent trial. And he has led in the past under race conditions as well. Golden Empire shouldn't be too far away. I think he'll be close up to the speed. And Capital Legend's an interesting one because he's drawn well and he's going up in trip, and they might just try and make a bit more use of him. And Eremo, even though he's caught wide, they might just have their hand forced a bit pulled to press forward.
Yeah, I think that's just going to show he might have to work to get across. Young Brilliant should get a nice run on his debut as well. He'll get his opportunity. Happy Day with a lightweight. Heaven Aguila with his wide draw, I think with Zach on, might have to go to the back.
Okay, so that is the verdict there on the speed map for race number 8. But more on Voyage Bubble this week. We can hear from his jockey Derek Lung off the back of what was a very impressive trial on the all-weather at Sha Tin.
Derek, Voyage Bubble, very nice horse that you're riding this weekend. Nice to get back on board him, and he's a horse with a good level of form.
Yes, he's been working good in the morning, and he's very honest in the race. I think a mile is suitable for him. Just the draw won't help him, so we will see.
He had a recent trial, Derek. I mean, he looked mightily impressive in that trial. How pleased were you with that performance?
Yeah, well, he tried impressive, but you can see the seasonal time it wasn't go quick in the beginning. So he felt very good up to stretch, so he tried good. And he will be the same in the race. He just handy, he don't mind to lead or second or third. So yeah, more flexible.
Getting across from 10, I mean, you say he can lead, he can sit handy. I guess barrier 10, they could have been a little bit kinder.
Yes, the draw won't help him, but we still try to go straight forward and see what happens.
So do you think in your mind that this horse will certainly get a mile no problem? Are you confident about that?
Yes, because when he up in front, he can switch off by himself, so a mile he can handle it.
where he's at the moment, Derek, I mean, obviously a lot of the excitement surrounding the 4-year-olds. He's running off a mark of 76. I guess he needs to improve that mark a little bit, but if he can do after the weekend, he might just put himself in the picture for the 4-year-old series, perhaps.
Yes, I agree. The rating, he probably won a good race here, and hope he can get some rating, and I'm sure he will be there.
Derek Lung there touching on the chances of Voyage Bubble coming out of the stable of Ricky Yu. We can press on and have a look at a few more for race number 8, Capital Legend. I thought he's quite interesting here, and it going from 1,200 metres to 1,600 metres. I guess they've got to do this with this horse. On his debut, he went from 900 up to 1,533 metres as a 2-year-old, first up, second up.
Yeah, so it's not it won't be his first rodeo as far as going up in trip is concerned. I mean, as you say, he was clearly bought with these types of races in mind, i.e. the 4-year-old series. So look, he was good on debut. They've got to go up in trip if they're to be any sort of contender pool, but I couldn't fault the way he won on debut. He was good.
Yeah, he did win nicely on debut. It's just a big jump up, 12 to 16 was just a little concern. He's drawn nicely, so you can see he was back there. I think they'll be a little bit more forward.
And he has run 4th and 5th over 1,600 metres in Australia prior to arriving. We can look here at Secret Vision. He's a one-time winner, Paul, from his 9 starts. I thought he stayed on well enough last start behind Sweet Encounter, who, of course, has been beaten since, and he's also been back to the trials, this horse.
Yeah, look, I haven't minded this horse since he's been here. He's a one-time winner from his 9 starts. He's put in a couple of good runs in the past. I think he's still got rating points in hand, and it shows from the second here. So, look, I've included him. Yeah,
look, he's trialled as well since this, and I thought he hit the line really nicely. He's actually coming back in trip, which I think is a positive for him. And yeah, he looks to be one of the serious contenders here, Tom.
Of course, that was over the 1,800 metres last time for him. We can go to the all-weather now and look here at Hava Nagila, who's improved in a couple of runs. La City Blanche back at the end of the field, hasn't done a great deal in his first run. Of course, Chang Cheng Prince Nick has come out and won again, but this has been an improving type, I think.
He is improving for sure, and you always love to see them improve first to second start. And I guess interestingly enough is the jockey booking. Zach Purton obviously taking the right here. Obviously in these 2 races he's actually ridden the winner, so he'd have a good line on the form, Paul, and he clearly likes him.
Yeah, look, and he did win twice on a good track overseas before he got here, so the turf's no problems for him, I wouldn't have thought. It's just the draw. He's drawn wide. I think he's going to have to go back.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he's off a high rating of 60, so he would have to win by a fair stretch to probably even give the 4-year-old series a shake getting into the field. So on we go to, well, we've got Decrypt here. He was going back a couple of seasons ago, Paul, a horse that was probably touted for the 4-year-old series. We've probably not ever seen the best of him. And what do we make of Straight Aaron? Because I thought Face Value was disappointing.
Yeah, look, he looked like he was a bit disappointing. He had every chance, didn't he? So we'll see if he can improve. Fitness obviously will be an improvement for him. He's had that run now, and Decrypt only a one-time winner from his 29 starts. It's hard to have him.
Yeah, look, the Straight Aaron, he was a Group 3 winner of a Carbine Club, wasn't he? That was on testing ground and trained by Chris Waller. So look, the ground isn't going to come up anything like that, but there has been plenty of rain around leading up to this weekend. So the bit of cushion in the track might help him.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the better of him once he gets up over 1,800 metres or 2,000 metres in the future. Straight Aaron. One more replay to have a look at, and it is Happy Day, who's back here in the field. Happy Together comes from back in the field as well, Nick, and he's actually drawn a bit of a better gate this time round for Richard Gibson.
He has, yeah. Look, he's a nice horse, and I think the application of a tongue tie has really helped him, because he wore that last time and he did let down really nicely. The run of Happy Day, I thought, was really good, very encouraging to suggest he could go well. And what I like about him in here, Paul, is that he's got a very, very light weight compared to some.
He has. I've got both Happy Together and Happy Day in, because I think they both ran really well in this race, and it was a pretty quick sectional as well there from Happy Together when he finished off strongly for 4th. So I think they've both got good chances.
Yep, this final 400 there was 22.99. Now there's still a few pieces of the puzzle to be put together here, Nick, and a few to probably shake the tree, and they'll come out of this list of top-rated runners towards the 4-year-old series, but there's a few as we probably scroll down the page that are going to be looking to boost their rating this weekend.
They are indeed, and one such on that page that has done so is Encountered. He's gone up to 81 now. Obviously, look, a few question marks here regarding some of that being trip on rating as well, of course, and Wings of War down at the bottom could be an interesting horse when we see him, Paul, but again, it's always a bit of a conundrum, this one.
Yeah, I think APAL, Straight Aaron and Tuchel will be the ones coming up for the weekend as well, and obviously Voyage Bubble in this race as well, Capital Legend. They're the ones we'll be sort of taking a close eye on, won't we?
What do we reckon, Paul? Cut off about 80, you'd say, maybe?
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Maybe you could sneak in with a very high 70s, but at this stage, you'd think about 80.
Okay, all in the melting pot. Tips for race 8, Paul?
I really like Voyage Bubble. I think he can dictate in front here. The 1600 shouldn't be a problem, and he looks the only natural leader in the race. So I think he can lead and win. Happy Together in there for second. His was a really quick sectional with his last one. He's improving. Happy Day with the lightweight, and Secret Vision was a good run from him for second last time. So end up with 4, 12, 14 and 7.
Yeah, also with the 4 here, Voyage Bubble. I just think he's a really nice horse, this guy, and Derek seemed pretty confident going up in trip that can suit him. So Voyage Bubble on top to hopefully enhance his rating points ahead of the 4-year-old series. Happy Day, I think, is a horse that can run really well. Secret Vision, back to this trip, will suit, and Happy Together, second time tongue tie, can hopefully work the same as it did first time. 4, 14, 7 and 12.
Both the boys with the Voyage Bubble, who is the early favourite at 3.9 for race number 8. As we go to a break here on the Racing to Win, the Chinese New Year meeting coming up here at Sha Tin is only 2 Tuesdays away. It's one of the highlights on the racing calendar here in Hong Kong as we welcome in the Year of the Rabbit. Racing to Win continues for Sunday at Sha Tin, and don't forget you can check out a preview of each and every race on the website hkjc.com under the audio and video section. But we're now previewing the final race, which is race 10 class 2 over 1400 metres, and here is the lineup. It's a 95 to 75 rated race with Winning Method at the top of Vincent Ho. Circuit Stellar Beauty Live in the hands of Karistik now barrier 10. Mr. Ascendancy is placed in a trial at Chung Fa since his last run. Galaxy Witness drawn 13. Navas 2 coming into this with a little freshen up. Further down to a Tianchi Monster. Winner Method in the race for Lyle Hewitson and Danny Shum. A-Pal, Captain Win. Tukul is back on the scene. Can't Go Wong, and also Beauty Glory down the bottom for Angus Chung from barrier number 6. We're going to have a look at the speed for this final race of the day here, Nick, and as they leave the machine, Beauty Glory with Angus Chung likely to go forward.
Yeah, he certainly can. Obviously down there with a very, very light weight as well. I'm not sure if Angus will get down to 108, but if he does, then it's a fair effort, and he's a horse who can press forward, and they can make best use of that light weight. Circuit Stellar is another one that can go forward, and on paper he might look like the only real sort of leader in the race, I suppose, but there'll be a few chasing. Beauty Live shouldn't be too far away. Kingland and Winner Method in this race as well. Paul, I don't think he'll be a million miles behind them. He's drawn 2.
Yeah, so he's going to be right on the pace. Some of the main chances have drawn wide, so A-Pal, Tukul will need some luck to try and slot in there as well. And Galaxy Witness, I think, will go back from his barrier 13.
Well, anyone would think the segue was set up there by Paul Lally. We can hear from the rider of Galaxy Witness. This week it is Hugh Bowman for trainer Casper Founds.
Hugh, Galaxy Witness is your ride in the final race this weekend at Sha Tin. Now, you've never ridden him in a race, but you had a sit on him in a trial recently. What sort of feel did he give you?
Yes, Nick, I was actually particularly pleased with his trial. It was a pretty good heat as well, as we can obviously see on the replay. But look, I just let him settle and find his feet, and I just let him use himself up the running, and he stretched out really nicely for me. I thought he had a nice bit in hand as we crossed the line and went through the line really well. So he's drawn a little awkwardly on the weekend, but I think he's set up to run a very, very good race.
You and Casper have teamed up for a few winners. What's been the sort of the feedback from his trainer? I know they've always had quite an opinion of him.
Yeah, I think Casper seems to think he's really got him back on track. I think he sort of lost his way a little bit, the horse. Obviously I've had nothing to do with him, but I just take a sense of confidence out of Casper's intel, particularly since a trial and sitting on him. He gave me he gave me a feel of a horse that's got some class, and win, lose or draw, I think we'll see that on the weekend.
He is a 4-year-old. He obviously plenty of anticipation around the series. I'm not sure if he's going to head that way, perhaps after the weekend. But for yourself, are there any firm plans in mind just yet as far as that series is concerned for you?
Yeah, look, I'm going to stick with Viva Chaleur for the mile, Casper's other runner. If this horse was to perform well on the weekend, which I'm sure he will, but I could see him possibly making his way to the mile. I'd be doubtful whether he'd stretch beyond the mile though, Galaxy Witness, but Viva Chaleur, we're certainly hopeful that he can, but I certainly won't be making any sort of long-term commitments for the series. I was very happy with Sword Point, who was an impressive winner the other day, so I'd like to think that he might be an option as the distances stretch out, but at this stage we'll just take it one race at a time.
Hugh Bowman touching on the chances there of Galaxy Witness off the back of an impressive trial over Golden 60 on the all-weather. Looking at a few of the main players in this final race, and we can have a look at Beauty Live, who's tucked away behind Oriental Smoke on the fence there. You've got Circuit Stella. Further out you've got Winning Method, and also Kingland, who wasn't too far away in the pink cap towards the inside here. Nick, Beauty Live would be a chance in a race like this. Winning Method covered a fair bit of ground around the turn.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Going back to Beauty Live, though, look, I think he's a lovely horse, this guy, and this is only his third run of the season. Carish Teton and Frankie Law, 25% their strike rate this season, so it might be worth following that combination, Paul, but I certainly think he's got the makings of a horse who can win at this level.
Yeah, no, definitely. The thing that did put me off was the draw, though. He's got barrier number 10, and I just wonder if he's going to be trapped wide.
Yep, he's a 4-time course and distance winner is Beauty Live. We can look at Mr. Ascendancy here now, and he's just behind the leading few here. Also in this lineup is Tianchi Monster, who hasn't run some bad races recently, Paul.
No, he's been racing all right, actually. Tianchi Monster, the race behind Packing Treadwell wasn't too bad. Look, Mr. Ascendancy might be sort of the forgotten horse in this. He has won over the course and distance. He comes back to the 1400 metres here. That win was off 77, but this second I thought was very good. And Packing Award's gone on and franked that form by running really well in the group race on Happy Valley midweek.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can't argue with the form, and I think he's much better placed back here at Sha Tin.
Well as Winning Method, we've also got Winner Method in this final race at Sha Tin, and we can have a look at him here. He's up near the pace in this race with Master Hero. What do we make of him in this lineup, Nick?
Well, he's interesting in the sense that he's only ever won over 1,000 metres, but he's run some really good races over this course and distance, and this run last time was certainly not a bad one as well. The winner Murado's fast improving, and his connection's done a good job with him. But I think overall, Paul, his level of form is a decent one, and he's got a good gait as well. Yeah,
definitely. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 2. He'll be right on the pace. Of the Method brothers, Winning and Winner, I thought Winner was probably the better chance of the two.
How many times have they raced against each other? A few.
They have a few, and for the record, they aren't brothers, but we can just say they are. On to A-Pal, and he's another one that's looking to stake a claim here for the 4-year-old series. Is A-Pal. Here he is tucked away on the inside. He's right sort of on the cusp at the moment. Paul, he's come up with a little bit of a sticky draw, barrier 11.
Yeah, that's the problem with him. Look, I know I've got a lot of time for this horse. The win 3 starts ago was very good. He backed up with a 4th, which is a little bit disappointing on paper because he's a 1.7 favourite. But in this second behind, Super Sunny Singh now goes really well. It looks really well with Super Sunny Singh coming out and winning again. So, look, it's a good form race, and I think he's one of the main chances.
Yeah, it certainly is a good form race, and he carries a bit less weight as well, which is not a bad thing. 12 pounds, in fact, which is a decent whack. Yeah,
it's certainly going to help him this time round. A horse that's tricky to catch is Captain Winnie's back here towards the inside over the 1650 at Happy Valley. They've tried him back, Paul, or Nick, they've tried him forward. I'm still not totally convinced.
No, you and me both, Tom, and he's not from 4 this grade. I mean, look, he's run well, but he's a horse who he blows hot and cold more often than not, and if he can back up a good run with another one, then it'll be great to see, but I'm a bit unsure, Paul.
Yeah, look, I've left him out. I'm not sure where he sits, and look, if he does get back, he's going to need luck.
Yep, he certainly is. So one more to highlight here, and we're moving on to look at Tuchel, who's out wider here, and also Winning Method at this Sha Tin trial. It's good to see Paul Tuchel back because he's got a lot of progression about him, the son of Redwood.
Yeah, definitely. And look, he's another one of the main chances. He's only put on 4 pounds. He's won fresh in the past, which is a good thing. The trial was good. He's drawn barrier 14. That's just the query. query for him, but we know he's good when he's good, he's very good.
Yeah, he is very good, and there's some encountered form there, a couple of starts back as well. So, yeah, look, he's a very intriguing runner.
Yep, comes through that Voyage Bubble trial. OK, Paul, the tips for the last.
Yeah, the prices, I'm going to go with Mr. Ascendancy. I think he'd be a double-figure price, so should get each way about him. Too Cool, A-Power we talked about, and Galaxy Witness we heard from Hugh there as well. 4, 12, 10 and 5.
Yeah, I've stuck with my old pal Galaxy Witness here. Going to give him another chance. Second time blinkers. I thought they sharpened him up last time out, and that trial was really good. So 5 on top. Over Beauty Live, who's a really nice horse. Too Cool, the 12. Good to see him back in action in for third. And I've thrown A-Power 10 in for fourth. 5, 3, 12 and 10.
Should be an excellent race, that final race of the day at 5:45. For Paul, your tips for the other 8 races on the card Sunday?
Yeah, like the first 2 races are very hard. Alloy Star is one for high rating, as had Star of Ewan Long. Brave Dreams racing well. Multi Super's 2 runs have been very good as well for Fast Bucks getting there. We Are Hero, very unlucky at his last start, and I thought Golden Express was ready to win.
OK, out of that lot, who is the best?
Well, we've talked about both my best and long shot, but the best I'm going to make comes up in the first race, which is Voyage Bubble that we talked about, race number 8. I think he can go to the front and lead all the way, and the each way play there, Mr. Ascendancy. I think he'd be a double-figure price in the last, and what's a very good field. The play of the day, we'll do it in race 5 with the first starter Unpresuming, Owner's Praise, and Speed Fei Fei, QQP 2711.
Yeah, best for me in the last, Galaxy Witness, Hugh Bowman. Hopefully we'll get one of those She's Apples winning signals also. The long shot, race 1, number 3, Chiron. Not an easy race, but he's certainly got chances on the best of his form. And the play, race 7, we'll go 5, 7, 9, Pleasant Endeavour, We Are Hero, Victory Moments.
Best for me comes up in the 4th race, number 3, Multi Super. Zach Purton jumps aboard here, 3rd on debut, 2nd last time out. Starship 80's come up with a better draw in race 6 for Pierrong and Derek Lung. Ran well last start from back in the field, was slightly held up. A-Pal and Tuchel, the Quinella, 10 and 12 in race number 10. Of course, you can get onto the website, hkjc.com, and check out our sister show, HK Direct. This week, Hugh Bowman weighs in, and we touch on the great clash coming up with the Stewards Cup in a couple of weeks' time. Before we head to Sha Tin again next Saturday, Paul, but Wednesday midweek, only 8 races at Happy Valley.
Only 8 races. Looking forward to a Class 3 with California Deeply over 1,000 metres. I think he'll run well.
Yeah, should give us something to look forward to.
Yep, that's it. We look forward to your company at Sha Tin. 1 o'clock, the first race on Sunday afternoon.